Okay, so what the getting to know Excel is all about is describing this environment and introducing Microsoft Excel to the class. Here are the tabs that are embedded in this ribbon. So the whole of this topmost of your Excel, which shows the different commands and tabs, are called ribbon. The ribbon has a file. When you click the file, this opens. This is just like your backstage where you can do a lot of things. Here, you can go back to home. You can come and select new. You can open an already existing file. These are the things that I have worked. When you click open, it brings them up. So you can now choose. Assuming you have worked on some document and you want to call them back. For instance, if I want to look at this, I will just simply click this and it opens. Then this is the information of your work. Then if you are doing any work and you need to save, especially the new one, you can come here and save it and give it a name. And if you are working, for instance, let me go back to where we are. This is the name of this file that we are working with. If I want to save this with a different name, say I want to save it with Youth Excel Class 2020. I can come to my file here. Here's my file tab. And I'm saying this thing, this work that I am working on, this file that I am working on, I want to save it as, when I click this option opens. And this option gives me the option here to save it with a different name. So if I like, I can now write 2020. So this is a different one from the previous one, okay? So these are the various things you see from your file menu. I come to the home. This environment is most likely the default tab that will open when you open a new Excel. In it, you have these different commands. This is my clipboard. This is my font. This is alignment. This is number. This is the style command, the cell command. And in each of these commands, you can do a lot of things. Yesterday, we discussed on when you type, you can come here and change the font of the style, the color of the font. You can fill the cell. You can give outlines to your cell. You can either underline once or underline twice. You can italize whatever you're doing. You can also make bold. And right here, you can change the type of font that you are using. So there are a lot of things that you can actually do here. The same thing here, how do you want your font to be aligned inside the cell? If you want to merge more cells, more than, assuming you have 2 cells you want to merge, either you merge them 2 columns, 3 columns, or 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, you merge them to become 1. This is where we find that command. Here, we do a lot of formatting with respect to numbers. You can decide to write a figure and put the $sign or put Naira sign. There are a lot of other currency symbols here. You can decide to change your number to percentage. You can decide to put a separator. For instance, you have 200,000. You put this, it goes to 200 and then separates it with a comma, and then the rest is in thousands. All right, so these are the different things that you do. Some of them you may not really need to use them now. As you begin to advance the use of Excel, then you begin to know what each of these commands is used for. So when you go to insert, these are the different commands that you can use. You want to insert something, you want to insert a pivot table, You want to insert a recommended pivot table. And all these are the things that are under the insert command. Then your page layout. How do you want your page to look like? How do you customize your page, especially when you print them out? Because Excel is something that a lot of people, even people in the development or people who are advanced in using Excel, when it comes to printing out what you need, printing them out, sometimes a lot of people have had to waste ink, waste papers because they didn't understand this page layout. So with good understanding of the page layout, you'll be able to know how to customize your document with respect to page setup, okay? Then under the formula, you can actually do a lot under your formula, okay? When you begin to do advanced Excel, there are a lot of things you can do here. There are functions, there are more functions, there are lookup and references, mathematics and trigonometry. You have your text, right? These are logical tests. You tell Excel to look at a certain array of information and you tell it, if this person's name is Crystal, for instance, and he goes to Faith Academy, come to this page and tell me what you want. It does that for you. That's how intelligent this program is. So when you come to data, this is where you can actually do a lot of data analysis, like you want to sort your names, you want to arrange them in a certain order, you want to filter and bring out some things out of the rest. There is so much that you can do. Okay, so for this, our class is just to introduce you to the features so that when you begin to use them, you will know where and where you are able to get those commands. All right, here is the view. This view also is an important aspect of Excel, because you may have a very large data and you want to see how you can view them. So with these view options, learning about them can really help you. Okay, so the remaining two, these are things that I just had to buy and put here because of the kind of the work that I do. So that is what that getting to know Excel is all about. Trying to introduce you to Excel, trying to introduce you to this back end, especially when you come, you are opening a new, if I click here, it's giving me new. What new do I want to do? Is it just a blank workbook? Am I going to take a tour through Excel? Am I going to create a drop-down list? And so on and so forth. All right, so that was the first video. The second video on Cell Basic, just a kind of reiterated what we discussed yesterday when we introduced you to the basics of cell, where we mentioned that each of these cells has an address and each of them are the building blocks of the entire spreadsheet. So if you want to know more about that cell basic, please look at the video that we made and we shared. Because of the new people that are coming on, we will still share that again so that you can watch it and then understand. You know, when we keep reading our books and keep reading them again, more and more understanding will come. So it's the same thing as we study this and then we go back to reinforce our understanding by looking at those videos. They will really help us. Okay, so the third one talked about worksheet basics. Well, for now, I will not bog us with that because you will understand the worksheet basic. What you really need to understand when you begin to work with large data. When you need to work, if you are working with a need for different sheets, like me, where I oversee several facilities, over 400 or something hospitals under my care. Each hospital has a sheet So I'm able to coordinate all of them because I would have several sheets for each of them. And then I have 13 states, 12 plus FCT that I cover. So for whatever that I do, I might have a workbook that contains the state data. So since there are 13 of them, I will have 13 worksheets. And then I might have another one that I'm working with facilities. And I have over 400 of them. I can really do that. So, but for you now, just introducing you, I may not bother you with the worksheet basics. All right, so having done that, one new thing that I want us to look at today, which also I'm going to follow up with the homework, is simple formulas. Simple formulas. And one of the things that we want to do in worksheet basics is, you see, I am writing simple formula here. This is worksheet number 8. It's called sheet 8. I can double click here to rename it. And I'm going to write simple formulas and enter. This is no longer sheet 8. It's now simple formula. All right, so those are the kind of things that worksheet basic will let you know. And if you see all of them there, they do not have any color. But if I want, I can right click here and come to tab color, and I change the color. Because I love green, I let me put green here. And this green here may not really be obvious until I click another sheet. Say I click this green now shows. Okay, so this is what we want to work on. Good. Simple formulas in Excel are formulas that contain only one operation. Okay? Simple formulas are formulas that contain only one mathematical operation. Okay, so I have tried to give this. Let me zoom in so that it can become more bold. So I've made a mistake here. I double click inside. Like yesterday, we said when you see a mistake and you want to correct it, you can click here and then come to this, my formula bar. This is the formula where I need to make my correction. I click it, it is formulas. I enter, so it's now corrected. Simple formulas are formulas that contain only one mathematical operation. Okay, so mathematical operations like what? This is plus. Okay, let me just make it like this. Let's say addition. In the bracket, we have this. Subtraction. We have this. Multiplication. We have this. In Excel, multiplication is this sign. It is not X. This asterisk is what Excel uses to do multiplication. Okay, then the next one that we want to look at is division, which is slash. All right, so any formula that contains only addition or only subtraction or only asterisk, which is multiplication, or division, is called a simple formula. All right, so I'm going to reduce this. You see the thing is still spreading across because I need to come to home here and I want to wrap it. What does it mean to wrap your text? See it here. Wrap extra long text. into multiple lines so you can see all of it. Good. This is too long. I want it to be only in this column. So what do? I wrap it here. See what's going to happen to this excess that has run onto B, C, D, E, and up to H. So when I click this wrap, see what's going to happen. It has wrapped it. It has brought them into several lines, and they are contained in one cell. So let me increase this, and then let me bring this up. Remember our dragging yesterday, we said we can modify our cell, we can modify the column, we can modify the row. All right, so I want to apply the same thing here. And if you remember what we talked about yesterday using this format painter, we say whatever we want to appear, whatever formatting we place here, if you want it here, just click here and get the dashed line dancing around this selection. And wherever we place that, it will take the same thing. So right now, I want this wrap text that is here to be here. So I'm going to click here, there, and I'm clicking this. You see, this is dancing around. And when I click it here, it becomes the same thing as this. All right, so we are going to look at some of these simple mathematics now, simple formulas. So if I have, let me say, I have 10 here, I have 5 here, I have 20 here, I have 15 here. So these are my numbers. And so here, I say, whenever you are writing a formula, you must first of all start with equals. I'm going to type equals. When you type equals in Excel, Excel's mind is saying, this man wants to type a function or a formula, or he wants me to pick something from somewhere. Now, if I write equal, Excel's mind is, this man wants to type a formula, a function, or he wants to direct me to pick something from somewhere. For instance, I can tell it, I want this cell to be equal to this cell. So when I click this cell here will say A4, because this 10, wherever I'm clicking, that is the same thing is going to be displaying here. If I click here, you see, it's saying this cell is equals to A4. Remember our cell address yesterday? This is column A, this is row 4. So at this point is A4. So I have told it this place should contain A4. Or if I made a mistake and I said, no, I wanted this place, because this thing is still dashing around, I can go ahead and click here, and I've changed. You see here has also changed to A6. Why is it A6? Because I click in column A on row 6. That's why this is A6. And so let's look at our simple formula. A6 plus A4. You see the two things that I selected here, I made reference to them, they are all highlighted. You can also see the color. While this A4 is highlighted in red or orange, I think this is red, I guess so. This cell is also red. And then you see this A6 here, which is blue, this is blue. Now, when I hit enter, it's going to tell me that A6 plus A4 is so and so answer. And from your mathematics, when you add 10 plus 20, it should give you 30. Now, let's see if Excel will give us the correct answer. I hit enter, and it's telling me it's 30. So Excel has the ability to even calculate what the greatest mathematician of all time cannot do in so fast a time. So this is a simple So this one is a simple formula. This is a simple formula. Another example of simple formula is, I want this cell now, D4, to give me the answer of 10, A6 minus A4. When you look at 20 minus 10, it should give you 10, I guess. And when I hit enter, correct, it has given us the answer. And so when I let's look at another simple formula. Here is equals to this. This is division now by this. It should give us 4. We enter, it gives us 4. Let's see, if we say here is equals to this times this. Always remember that you don't need to forget that your multiplication in Excel is asterisk. And asterisk is on 8. But in some keyboard, you need to press your shift button to get that asterisk, which is also on top of 8 of your keyboard. Right? So when we say A5, where is my A5? My A5 is this, which is 5, times A4. My A4 is 10. When I hit enter, it should give me the product of 10 and 5, which is 50. All right. So let me get this. Now let's see what then is a complex formula. A complex formula, let's go where we define complex formula. Okay, so let's define complex formula. Where should we write it now? A complex formula is a formula that contains more than one mathematical operation. More than one mathematical operation. We remember this. I don't know if this has changed in your current syllabus. We used to know what is board mass. Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. This is the order of operation when you have several mathematical operations in a formula. For Excel, it has this, PEMDAS. So you need to understand this order of operation in Excel, which is P is the parenthesis. Okay, so let me put it this way. P, E, M, D, A, S. So this is for parenthesis, which is the same thing as a bracket. E is exponential, when something is raised to power something. M is multiplication. We know multiplication. D is division. A is addition. And S is subtraction. Now, these two are in the same class. I'm going to explain that. They are in the same class, while this also, they are in the same class. Now, what it means is when you have a formula, that contains multiplication and division, don't always say that because multiplication comes first, so you must do the multiplication first. No, because two of them are in the same family, the one that comes first, Excel will follow that order and do your operation. The same thing here. if a formula contains addition and subtraction, which one comes first will be handled first. Now let's look at some of the examples. If I have, let me zoom out. So now let's use this here. So we want to do, so we say this is equals to, this is A4 plus this minus this. Let's see the answer that we have. We have minus 5. Now, why do we have minus 5? When you look at this equation here, we know that addition comes before subtraction, even though they are the same. This did not happen because of this order. It happened because multiplication came before this. So when we have this, addition comes before subtraction. Now, if we carry this same thing and say here, let's say we have, what do we do? How do we get this? Now, this is minus 5. Okay, let's minus A6. Okay, let me just copy this out and put somewhere here, sorry. Put somewhere here. All right, so this was what we had there. Assuming we now want to say here is equals to, let's say A5, this is my A5 minus A6 plus A4. When we look at this, it's still giving us the same thing, isn't it? We have plus 4 here, which is here. We have plus 5 here, which is here. We have minus 6 here, which is here. Let's see what we get. Okay, we are still getting the same answer. Now, when the two of them appear in the same, I mean, in a complex formula involving these other ones, the answer may be different. Now, let's see if we change this to 20, we change this one to 12, okay? Do we have anything in A6? Yes, we have A6. We have 1, all right. So this will be, it's giving us the same answer, but when we are confronted with complex formulas, this one is complex because it involves more than one operation, but it's not as complex as when you have several other operations like parentheses, like exponential. Okay, so these are the basic things that we need to know. This afternoon, we have discussed simple formulas, what they are, and we have taken a look at some of examples of simple formulas. We have also looked at what complex formulas are, and we define complex formula, complex formulas are formulas containing more than one mathematical operations. And then you will agree with me that complex also, there are different levels of complex. What we have discussed, showing us a plus and addition and subtraction in one formula is complex. But how about when you see something like 5, raised to power 3 times 5 minus 12, 0 divided by 40 brackets, and then this one also raised to power 6. You will agree with me that this is indeed complex. And if I give any of us this, it may take us maybe 5-10 minutes to solve. But the moment I put this, Excel, it takes Excel just maybe 1 second to get the answer. Now let's see, if I just put equal sign here, give me the answer straight. You didn't even have to think. All right? That is how smart this is. And you will agree with me that this thing can really help you to speed up your work. Whether you are doing analysis, whether you are collating your research or whatever, this is a very wonderful application to know. All right, so this, we have come to the end of this session. I don't know if you all have lessons later this afternoon. We are supposed to come again. So I would like to get feedbacks from each of you. Let me know if you have lessons